The heat wave has been stifling Shanghai since the beginning of this month. Today marks the 11th day of continuing heat this summer, with a high of 39 degrees. The red alert fell to orange alert this afternoon, but many places in Shanghai are still coping with temperatures above 37 degrees. Residents are hoping for a cooling wind or storm, but the Weather Bureau says that's not going to happen. In fact, the forecast is 4 more days of sweltering with a high of 40 degrees.
Heavy rains and flood have been plaguing Jilin City and Jilin Province in northeast China since Wednesday. So far, more than 500,000 people have been affected, with more than 200,000 people forced to leave their homes. Economic losses to date total over 12 billion yuan. Yongji County in Jilin City is struggling with waterlogging and disruptions to the water and electricity supply system and traffic. County infrastructure has been severely damaged. In the suburbs, flooding has destroyed more than 5,000 hectares of farmland. More than 100,000 people in Yongji have been relocated. Provincial authorities say the heavy rain is for the most part over and the red storm alert has been lifted.
Some soldiers told me that the sludge will easily breed bacteria in hot weather, so this will be their major task for the time being. And also the local authorities are trying to repair the public facilities, including the railway, the power and water supply. And the local government just told me that almost 50% power and water supply have been restored as of this morning. And a total of 14 special teams are established with different tasks, including those responsible for post-disaster epidemic prevention, the sludge cleaning, and some other missions. And as of the affected villagers, thousands of the villagers are now living in 4 middle schools of the county, which are used as temporary shelters. They are provided with daily necessities, including meals, water, and beddings, and some other things. And they said they are very satisfied with such arrangement, but they are very concerned with their own homes. They said they hope that they can return to their homes as early as possible.
350最少58了，昨天连车都挖到地方去了。哎呀，雾着啊，帽子都给吹塌了，我这个才行了。哎呀。
长湖南路电不顶死了，全破淹了，万湖路全破淹了。
又便宜一个，又便宜一个，哎，又便宜一个，然后。
上这来不说。
避難する。ありがとうな、さきな。
秋田県を襲った記録的大雨。被害の全容は未だ明らかになっていません。大仙市を流れる雄物川、午後4時半過ぎの様子です。
川はちょうど画面の左ですから、この画面右側はすべて、普段は陸地です。画面右側に道があるはずですが、全くわからない状態になっています。
大仙市では雄物川の上流の3カ所で氾濫が発生しました。こ
ちらではハウスも上の部分まで水が浸かっています。
大仙市によりますと、大曲などを中心に数百棟が浸水したとみられ、市が確認を進めています。これまでに確認された被害は、床上まで水に浸かった住宅が67棟、床下が水に浸かったのが111棟に上るということです。
Korea's central region, including Seoul and the surrounding Gyeonggi-do province, was pounded by heavy rain for hours on end on Sunday. In the western city of Incheon, the torrential downpour resulted in one death and left hundreds of homes and shops flooded. Kim Hyo-sun reports.
Just a week after heavy showers lashed Korea's Chungcheongbuk-do province,
Downpours drenched Seoul and the surrounding Gyeonggi-do province on Sunday. Heavy rain warnings were issued for the capital and 4 other regions, including Incheon, where parts of the city saw up to some 75 millimeters of rain an hour. In Incheon alone, some 370 houses and shops were submerged, while a man in his 90s died inside his flooded home.
I can't explain in words how awful this is.
Roads were also inundated, washing away vehicles.
The water level was very high. It looked as if cars could cross, but they just got swept away.
Rail operations connecting Seoul and Incheon were also suspended for about half an hour in the morning, while several workers had to be rescued after being trapped at an underground subway construction site. Dozens of areas also suffered blackouts. While the weather warning for Incheon was lifted at around noon on Sunday, the job now is to get the city cleaned up and functioning properly again. Kim Yo-san, Arirang News.
The latest damage comes just a week after torrential rain hit Chungcheongbuk-do province, causing a number of deaths and transport chaos. Korea is in the tail end of its annual monsoon season, which is forecast to end before the end of this week. While the north of the country battles the rain, it's a different struggle down south. Heatwave warnings have been issued across Korea's southern regions. Afternoon highs in Gwangju and Jeju Island are forecast to hit 34 degrees Celsius, and the southeastern city of Daegu will top out at a sweltering 35 degrees. The sizzling temperatures are expected to persist for the next few days, with tropical nights in store as well. Park Hee-jun, Arirang News.
单球，不说单球。
1000一样的。
Welcome back. Heavy rain continues to lash the state of Gujarat that has triggered massive floods across various parts of the state. 3 more people have been killed after the heavy rain continue, which has taken the death toll now to 67, and over 900 livestock have died as well. Over 6,000 people have been evacuated to safer areas as the heavy rain and floodwaters wreak havoc in several parts of the state, forcing the state government to now reach out to the army and the air force as well. At least 23 dams have been overflowing as a result of the water and the flooding, and at least 10 teams of the NDRF and 12 teams of the SDRF have already been deployed in flood-affected districts. Nearly 134 people have been rescued by the NDRF team in several parts of the state, including in places like Amreli, Rajkot, Morbi. Indian Air Force managed to rescue 14 people, while 171 people have been rescued by the local administration. Now, the situation is grim. 2 national highways and 17 state highways have been closed. For now, both the national highways have been opened only since Saturday night. Meanwhile, in Assam, at least 1.65 lakh people have already been affected by the continuous flooding in northeastern state of the state, and 75 people, in fact, have also been killed.
The city of Christchurch has declared a state of emergency as severe storms cause widespread flooding across the South Island. 4 areas have now declared emergencies, with highways cut off and residents stranded. Hundreds of people have been told to leave their homes. Additional Defence Force personnel have been deployed, with close to 150 troops now helping out.
Christchurch, the largest city on New Zealand's South Island, has declared a state of emergency amid a severe storm that lasted over 24 hours. Hundreds of homes across the country have been evacuated, highways are cut off, and soldiers have been called in to help provide emergency services. The state of emergency was declared after the Heathcote River burst its banks and flooded southern parts of the city. It is the 4th area to do so after the severe weather caused widespread flooding.
Mainly flooding of basements and property. This morning we've actually had quite a few slips, landslides coming down against houses. There's been about 3 of them so far over the last 12 hours. Some houses have been evacuated from there, and we've also done some rescues of cars, people been stranded in floodwaters.
Algonquin has already seen record-level flooding, and there's more rain falling tonight, making things even worse for residents.
CBS 2's Charlie DeMar has more from the mess up there.
Today and into the evening, there's been a last-minute effort to make those sandbag walls higher here in Algonquin and to make sure those pumps are working, because this overnight rain could bring water levels even higher. The beauty of the Fox River in Algonquin drowned out by the sound of waterfall pumps and sandbags.
Absolutely agonizing.
Life at Willow and Center turned upside down.
And now obviously has taken over our backyard.
Phil Barnes is working nonstop just to keep the water and wildlife from coming any closer, reinforcing his sandbag barrier, bracing for the rain expected overnight. You had your eye on the radar?
All the time. All day long, sitting at my desk at work, and especially after tonight's storm, we're really concerned.
It looks like right now it's at about 12.5.
Civil engineer Logan Gilbertson usually helps others deal with floodwaters.
It's going pretty quickly.
Now the forecast in his own backyard has him preparing for even more water.
Algonquin is supposed to get 2 to 3 inches tonight. That's a lot of rain when the river's already at a major flood stage.
As Gilbertson's man-made water level gauge continues to soak, these residents ready for a break from Mother Nature.
Exhausted. Like, we've been doing this for about a week and a half, and we're just done.
And with the rain continuing to fall tonight, the residents that I spoke with tonight say they don't expect to sleep much, as they will be worried about keeping water out of their homes. In Algonquin, Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News.
CBS 2's Chelsea Irving live in the northwest suburban Algonquin area, where residents have already been dealing with flooding for days. Now they're getting another round of rain. Chelsea.
They did get that round of rain this afternoon, Rob. You can see the rushing and expanding Fox River behind me. These are the Algonquin Department of Public Works worst case scenario plans. These are worst case, but not impossible. They put the Fox River not where it is now, not past that first house where they have water, not past that second house where they're ready for water, but past that third house that is beyond the sandbag line. With rain pouring down into the already swollen Fox River, no one is slowing down at Algonquin's Public Works facility.
Just a tiny bit of water in the basement, and I know that alone can be a huge problem. I can't imagine what people are going through with real flooding.
With some homes already flooded and others in harm's way, Dan Locallo drove out from Chicago to help.
In my area, we've had some floods, not as bad as out here, and you want to help people.
What would the worst look like?
It would be something that we've probably never seen before.
Sandbags are going out to people like Mark Korzik. His garage is already flooded. He's working to keep water from his house. You've been through this before.
2013, huge learning experience. That's what really taught us about plastic, sandbags, pumps.
Korzik says he feels okay for now, but the forecast has him worried.
River rise level, we can take on another 6 to 8 inches. We can't take another 6 to 8 inches more of rain.
Move now to the severe storms with high winds and torrential rain tearing across the country, causing problems from the Midwest to the East Coast.
Kate Parker filling in for Rob Marciano this morning. She has the very latest. Kate, good morning.
You guys, it's been such an active weather pattern that we've seen a tremendous amount of damage, like in D.C., where we had power lines down, causing power outages to thousands, or in Wisconsin, where we had roads completely washed out and a state of emergency was declared.
This morning, severe summer storms striking across the country after more than 330 severe weather reports this weekend.
Holy cow.
Days of rain giving way to flooding in the Midwest. Rivers continuing to rise, roads washing away. This bridge in Iowa, gone. And in Illinois, more hail. Torrential rain and powerful winds uprooting this massive tree. One woman's backyard creek growing into a raging river in just a few hours. And those heavy rains knocking out the power for nearly 100,000 homes in Missouri and Kansas, and surprising one traveler visiting from across the pond.
Don't ever come to Kansas/Missouri. This is it. This is what you come to.
And residents down south.
Oh my goodness. Dude, what is this?
Also bewildered by the precipitation.
Wow, babe, this is nuts, man.
The streets of New Orleans flooding, residents using canoes instead of cars.
So coming up in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to have a further look at this forecast, because today that threat is more widespread. It's not just for, these isolated areas. We're looking at an even bigger area, and it's some of the same spots that have already been hit. So we could see more problems.
Sad for some of those areas already
Absolutely.
been hit. Thank you very much. Great to have you again, Kate.
We're continuing to follow that breaking news this morning. Overnight rain causing all sorts of problems in Maysville right now, where they've declared an emergency. Kristen Swilley is there and shows us the damage. And boy, there's a lot of it, Kristen.
Absolutely, Tamika. We are here on US 68 in Maysville. The mayor was just telling us it takes a whole lot for this road to close, but you get one good look at the damage out here. You can understand why. This car right here, you can see just how high the water went up, and obviously it's not supposed to be here. The rain just and water just lifted it up, placed it on top of these other cars, and it's not just small cars like this one. It's vans, it's SUVs that have been picked up like toy cars and piled on top of each other. You can still see there's a lot of rain on the actual ground here, and the good news when we spoke to the mayor is he is saying that there are no injuries, no infrastructure damage, so no one should be out of a home at this point. Obviously, he's still going around town making sure everyone's okay. We are hearing some other reports of there being some problems on another side of town, so we might head there at some point to check that out. Similar issue with cars, but again, you can see just how much debris is on top of the hood of this car. Gives you an idea of just how far up the water came, and truly going to be probably pretty devastating for the owner of this lot whenever they do arrive. We're going to try and talk to them as well, but for now we can tell you again, no injuries to report, no major infrastructure damage, and of course the rain at this point starting to wrap up. If any of that changes or we hear of anything else even more dramatic than what you're seeing right here, we'll be the first to let you know. But for now, reporting live in Maysville this morning, Kristen Swilley, 9 on your side.
Where several inches of rain in a short period of time wreaked havoc there. 9 on your side's Brianna Harper joins us live with that aftermath. Brianna?
Well, Julie, for at least one Maysville family, it's more than simply a cleanup, more like a complete rebuild. If you take a look at this home behind me, it was swept away by heavy waters, pushing the home at least 2 football fields away.
I would consider this a complete disaster, to be honest with you.
Heavy rains poured into the Ohio River, washing out parts of Maysville like never before.
Well, this is not new, but this amount for this area, this is pretty devastating.
A rude awakening for one family that woke up to find their entire home afloat.
We looked around and seen outside neighbor's house, and our house was turned, and we just got out, jumped in the water, and it was over our heads.
The homeowner tells 9 on your side the waters were strong enough to push the home off its foundation and sweep it several hundred feet downstream. But that wasn't the only damage. We walked closer along the creek and we found several submerged cars and even an abandoned tour bus that had been swept away from the flash flooding. And then there were damaged businesses like this martial arts studio.
4,000 square foot of that is training area, and it's The whole floor is matted, all that, anywhere from that inventory, took all of our showcases, ruined everything.
The owner says he walked in to find at least 2 to 4 feet of water inside, so he wanted to know what's the next step for those impacted worst by the flooding.
Insurance agency, start there.
One night in a hotel and we don't know from there. It'd be whatever comes, we just have to step by day.
Me mojo 1, 2, 3, 4. Ya.
This is the second time at Jacob Close, number 4 Jacob Close. This is the second time such thing is happening, and it's so painful that we have government in this country. We have governments that are not coming up to their responsibilities. People are sent out of their homes. Look at this is the way that connects to Ilasa. Imagine since 3 a.m. people have been outside. There was no place. Their beds, their laptops, their properties are being destroyed. What kind of government is this? God help us in this country.
Italian authorities have ordered a halt to pumping water out of a lake near Rome following a prolonged drought. ASIA, the utility firm which runs Rome's water system, has said that 2 years of lower than average rainfall have dramatically reduced water levels in reservoirs feeding the city.
Da mesi e da settimane si segnala.
For months, weeks, the water level is falling. Now this drop has reached a dramatic percentage, dangerous to the lake itself. So we took this measure that will come into operation in 7 days' time. Earlier this month, the drinking fountains that dot the city were closed in an effort to safeguard supplies. Since then, there's been no let-up in above-average temperatures, with 2017 likely to be one of the hottest on record in Italy.